Greetings, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thank you for logging on. Today, we continue our journey through the FP Journe catalog with perhaps the most emblematic of FP Journe chronographs. This is the FP Journe Centigraphe Souverain, a timepiece so precise it can meter 1/100th of a second, hence its name. The namesake foudroyant 1/100th of a second dial spinning away as secondary registers chart 20-second intervals as well as a maximum of 10 minutes. This timepiece in rose gold with a salmon-colored rose gold dial base, 40 millimeters. We'll put it on the wrist and get a better sense of its sizing. The timepiece, 10.5 millimeters thick, 48 millimeters lug-to-lug, and 40 millimeters in diameter, wearing well on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. An easy watch to wear on a wrist of any size. It's particularly helpful for those who are slighter of forearm thanks to the curvature of the spring bar that allows the strap to pull straight down. You'll also note the dramatic downward tuck of the lugs that turn almost 90 degrees from the horizontal sweep of the case band. An easy watch to wear, and thanks to its slim profile and domed bezel, easy to wear under a dress sleeve. You will note the strap, dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather with a monotone stitch and a folded edge. Turn it over and two surprises. First, this is an entirely alligator leather strap rather than the cheaper calfskin used on the underside of luxury straps from other manufacturers. FP Journe specifying a slightly more expensive and far more durable, longer-lived double alligator. Alligator on top, alligator on the bottom. The second surprise, pull tab spring bars. Use only your fingernail to easily and quickly remove the straps tool-free. A rose gold buckle to match a rose gold case. FP Journe has always matched buckle to case material, and you will note the two stanchions have a bridge that flanks them from the top rather than running between them to allow the strap to sit between those stanchions and the buckle to sit lower on the wrist. Smart design in the micro and the macro. Moving to the case band, it is simple and, as with the rest of the case, all of high polish. Its strength defined by the overlap of the bezel and the case back beyond the mid-case. You can see the complexity and compound curvature of those high-polished lugs. They turn downward, but they also have a pronounced tumble home sloping from the center off to the sides. Rotating to the crown side, you can see that this watch can easily be worn in an ambidextrous fashion because of the off-center location of the rocker actuator for the chronograph, as well as the characteristic double dimple, heavily knurled FP Journe crown. Now, this is a patented element. This crown that is used for starting, stopping, and resetting the chronograph, and we will resolve more carefully. It is effectively a twin-trigger chronograph with the visual elegance of a monopusher. There are two patents that apply to this watch. This rocker is one of them. You can see how, unlike a monopusher, it's possible to start and resume timing with the chronograph, and it's also possible to stop and reset. You can see how everything springs back with alacrity. Moving inboard, you can see the dial is complex. Outboard, stylized railroad track for the minutes. FP Journe's characteristic and brand distinctive Arabic numerals of varying size as they flank the center bezel in black polish. This is also known as poli noir or speculaire. You'll note as I turn the watch off axis that the bezel for the registers turns black, hence the nickname poli noir or black polish. The hands at center blued and the characteristic Journe biomorphic taper, and then counterweighted red needle seconds hands for the registers. This watch can time objects moving as quickly as 36,000 kilometers per hour and as slowly as 6 kilometers per hour, thanks to tachymeter scales for each one of the registers, each moving at a different speed. We'll resume the entertaining and visually spectacular chronometric fireworks and then turn the watch over to appreciate the caliber 1506 that produces this spectacle. As with all contemporary Journe movements outside the line sport, this is 18 karat rose gold of bridges and plates. 50 jewels, it has a free-sprung balance, and the balance being free-sprung with a very large polar moment of inertia, able to offer an aesthetically pleasing 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate, but also to take a precise regulation and then hold that regulation in the face of bumps, disruptions, and concussion on the wrist. 80-hour power reserve with the chronograph deactivated, 24-hour power reserve with the chronograph active, but remember, the largest register on the dial is 10 minutes, so that's not strictly necessary. The engineering miracle of this watch and the subject of the second patent is the means by which F.P. Journe avoids losing balance amplitude and thus timing precision when the chronograph is pressed into service. On a conventional chronograph, activating the complication will draw more power from the barrel. It will slow the balance because it will siphon away energy from the balance and the escapement, so the watch will run slower overall. F.P. Journe takes advantage of the fact that there are 2 points of drive from the situated barrel. You can see it is located central to the movement, highly unusual for a mechanical watch for a reason. 2 drivetrains. One is driven by the barrel arbor, which is effectively the staff on which the barrel pivots. That drives one drivetrain, and then the edge of the barrel and its toothed profile driving another drivetrain. Therefore, the barrel doubles the power to the escapement when doubling the physical drag created by the activation of the chronograph. Therefore, while power reserve will be drawn down to a still robust 24 hours with the chronograph running, there will be no loss of timing precision. And that is the second and perhaps even more spectacular patent applied to the Centigraphe. Beautifully laid out, you will note concentric circular Côte de Genève, or stripes, perfectly aligned across bridges. There's an engine-turned perlage overlapping across the base plate. You can see it beneath the balance. You will note that all screw heads are black polished. And you will note that the edge of every bridge, screw and jewel countersink mirrored with a glorious sheen and shine applied by hand and perfectly rounded. That is the beveling or anglage applied at the highest level of Geneva horology. A column wheel caliper with a crisp actuation. It feels sharp in the hand and it moves with alacrity to the eye. A visually animated watch, it's also one with its heart in the right place, as this timepiece, originally inspired by Jean Todt, president of the FIA and former general manager of the Ferrari Scuderia Ferrari Formula One team, a compatriot of F.P. Journe, another Frenchman, together they coined the idea of a watch whose benefits, in part, would contribute to brain and spine injury research and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's cure research. And this is the ICM, the center that benefits from a portion of the sale of F.P. Journe Centigraphe watches of all descriptions. So this is a watch whose proceeds go to a good cause, looks good, and you'll feel good. An all-around winner. See this and the entire collection of F.P. Journe timepieces on govbergwatches.com.